From Windsor, Ontario, it's remotely Zach. And now here is your host, Zachary Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I am your host, everybody's favorite, Zachary Thomas. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Before we begin, I ask that if you have not already done so, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe as well. You do that, and I'll talk. I just want to say Happy Black History Month out there to those who celebrate as well. If you were able to watch this following the major snowstorm, good for you, and good God, it was bad and white. How white was it? It's so white, it's like living on the top of Mike Pence's head. It's so white, it was whiter than a Paula Deen Thanksgiving. I think I got about 6 inches in my backyard, and if there's one thing anyone knows about me, it's that I like a good 6 inches. Not to mention, this storm also brought significant ice, which led to people slipping and sliding everywhere, like Donald Trump at a rally. You know, it's the Democrats that are trying to ruin this great country. That's right, the Republicans are trying to ruin this great country. Weird times we got going on here. What else is out there? You seen the truckers convoy called the Freedom Convoy protesting? Yeah. The truck nuts were out in full force in Ottawa protesting mandates, which they see as inappropriate. Really, you have truck testicles on the back of your truck, but vaccines are inappropriate? Okay, sure, yeah. What else is happening in this crazy old world we live in here? Oh, tensions in Ukraine are rising as Russia gets closer, which could lead them to invade. Catastrophic sanctions for Russia could be issued as well, and President Joe Biden apparently wanted to deliver them to Putin himself. I mean, could you imagine? Hey, Vlad, I got some papers for you. These are sanctions for invading the Ukraine. That's right. Jack. And Putin be like, oh, good. Come in and we discuss over tea. Great news for students. In-person classes have returned, and in post-secondary education. Good news for some, bad news for the students with the video and mics turned off. You know who you are. I know I returned to campus this week, but a snowstorm apparently saw other options. The day they announced a return into person, the snowstorm was like, you think? Tom Brady has officially announced his retirement. Brady was also known as the GOAT, though there is a difference between a GOAT and Tom Brady. One has deflated balls. Folks, I got a great show for you this evening. When I come back, the weirdest news found on the internet, and also later on, I got a few things to say. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back. Folks, it is white out, just snow everywhere. I hope, and I sincerely hope that everybody is staying safe and also watching Remotely Zach. Well, just don't forget to follow the safety tips that are out there, like don't shovel all at once, do it in shifts, don't go out during the storm, and also don't eat the yellow snow. That's number 1. On that note, it's Friday, which means it is time to sit back, relax, and take a look at the weirdest news found on the internet. That's right, it is time for Weird News. On this edition of Weird News, grab your umbrellas because it is raining iguanas. And I'll let you figure out where. That's right, evening temperatures in Florida were in the 40s, sending the reptiles into shock and causing them to lose their grip on the trees. The situation has become so prevalent that the National Weather Service, has issued a warning about falling iguanas. Because, I mean, where else is that going to happen? Where? Don't worry, once it gets warmer, they will get up and move. been going back to normal. So be aware, patio bar drinkers. From reptile to man, it's time for
Florida Man, does whatever a Florida man can. Look out, here comes the Florida Man.
A Florida man was arrested last Wednesday for allegedly causing a disturbance at a Cape Coral Waffle House. Yes, over the way his bacon was cooked. Police said Jose Alvarez was upset about how his bacon was delivered. The Tampa Bay Free Press reported that Alvarez is accused of shouting racial slurs at the workers and also resisting officers until they threatened him with a taser. I mean, I would hate to see what happens if you bring like the wrong style eggs. I just hate to see that. And finally, a TV weatherman in Louisville, Kentucky is going viral for the type of wind not usually featured in his reports. Last week, WDRB meteorologist Mark Weinberg was reporting on a cold front in the Midwest when he paused and seemed to have farted during the broadcast. Man, when they talk about the south wind, I didn't think that is what they meant. I honestly didn't think so. And that's the weirdness, folks, for this week. Bad pun alert. What do you call a pelican's cousin? A pelicant. I'm Zachary Ballard. You cannot make this stuff up. More Remotely Zach when we return. Hello everyone and welcome back. And for those of you who are watching this later on, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel to help this channel grow and build. Yeah. Folks, we are in a world where people are making questionable and often disastrous decisions. Not like, what do I wear, but where do I park my truck? Which is why I came up with a segment where I can discuss certain issues. Because if there is one thing civilization has lost, it's the ability to have discussions. So, now without further ado, here is my segment, Let's Talk. On today's edition of Let's Talk, we talk about Windsor Mayor and Waldo in witness protection, Drew Dilkens. Drew Dilkens was elected mayor of the city of Windsor in 2014, and since then, his mayoralship can be described as oopsie-daisy. Let's take a look at the most recent bump in the road, the 2022 budget meeting. Windsor City Council met in late 2021 to discuss the budget for the city of Windsor, which included a new Transit Windsor bus route called the 418X, which was also supposed to turn into a robot. The 418X would have been a limited stop express route that traveled down Tecumseh Road, but was shot down, and our clueless leader said why. Quote, "The reason white-collar riders don't take the bus in Windsor is not because it's not a good service, and the drivers aren't nice, and everything else. The reason they don't take it is because they can own a car and get in rush hour from one end of the city to the next in 15 minutes. So they prefer to drive because they can," he says. End quote. Do you know why people take the bus, Mr. Mayor? They can't drive or choose not to drive. And if they could, why would they be on a bus when they can own their own car? There are people out there who can't own a car due to various circumstances. And not everybody can drive like you driving me crazy. It's no secret we have the worst public transit in the country. Transit, to get you from one end of the city to the other is roughly 2 hours. And this 418X would have been a lifesaver. This is not the first bad move he has made, though. Let me explain. In 2017, following a storm, council voted to spend $3 million on a bright lights display at Jackson Park. And this caused outrage in the community. Outrage, I tell you. With one member saying, quote, "People are outraged that council would even consider putting this money into lights when our basements are all backing up." End quote. If we re-elect Mayor Dilkins, we're going to need an arc. I think we're going to need an arc at some point. In a recent editorial, it detailed this exact issue, and our mayor even said if he had funded this, it would have been the worst business decision in all his years on council. And it goes on to point out one other failed venture, funding the Adventure Bay Water Park. According to the Windsor Star. Oh, so now we're investing in water. Okay. He would rather invest in a water park that is losing $3 million annually than boosting public transit? Shameful. Well, you know the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, in Windsor, if it's broke, don't fix it. And that's the show, everybody. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are not already following us on social media, do so. Those links are down in the description below. I'm Zachary Thomas, and we will see you next week. Same place, same time. Good night.
That was easy.
No, it wasn't.